They just flagged down this motorcycle rider, no helmet, and look at the plate.
Nag-duty lang po kasi yung simbahan, sir. Oo, dapat po kasi nag-helmet tayo.
So aside from the initial violation of driving without helmet, there'll also be an improper display of license plate. It's a very common thing here in Manila City to avoid the non-contact apprehensions. Guy that was just ticketed for no helmet rode away with no helmet. My goodness. He's meant to push the bike until he gets home. Oh my goodness, that guy is actually also allegedly involved with this van that's been ticketed for parking on the pedestrian crossing. Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. Right now they're in front of Recto LRT. There's a lot of complaints about this area, obstructions and traffic, illegally parked vehicles. Aside from all the regular tricycles, there'll also be ticketing or towing these electric tricycles. They do face a lot of resistance in this area with drivers that don't want to show a license, but they do insist. The problem with just writing out tickets to plate numbers is if people aren't renewing their registration, it's useless. They'll never pay those tickets. There's a lot of little e-trikes here. These are often used for public transport. Some of these were towed before they paid the penalties, got them back, and then back to business as usual. You see the enforcer here writing out tickets. Thankfully, most of the motorcycles have plate numbers. Of course, the big difficulty with the tricycles is that many of them don't have any registration or driver's license. So when enforcers come along, they end up going on the back of the tow truck. If this was anywhere else, I would say this has been abandoned and isn't being used anymore. But here in Manila City, I really won't be surprised if someone's still riding this. And over here, they're making the driver remove a sticker that was covering his plate number. That's a pretty common trick in Manila City to avoid non-contact apprehension. Those e-trikes that have a driver are being ticketed by the MMDA. Those that don't have a driver, apparently the MTPB are going to take care of them. And it looks like the SCOG team are confiscating some items. The amount of times they've cleared this and then people have just moved their stuff inside, I'm not surprised that finally something's being confiscated to send a message. Up goes another tricycle. It won't surprise me that someone will go to the impound, pay to get these out, and they'll be back on the road again. It really depends on how much the penalty is as to whether people just keep repeating. Often what happens is they'll send someone else there who does have a license. They'll pay the penalties, bring it back out, and then they'll continue driving again without license.
Ang lisensya niya po natikitan para sa INMAX. Siya po ang may-ari nito.
That's another common trick. If someone has a license, he'll just go around and try and take tickets for everybody, even if the driver of the vehicle doesn't have a license. But their general rule is that once you've taken a ticket for one vehicle, you're meant to drive away with that vehicle since it's been ticketed for illegal parking. You can't jump around vehicle to vehicle offering up your license. And in comes another tow truck. Now there's a kid that keeps... This guy was just ticketed for illegal parking and then he's riding without helmet, so they're telling him just push the bike. Some of these e-tricycles have already been ticketed for illegal parking. I just noticed all the electric meters over there as well. I'm sure some of those are spinning overtime with all these e-trikes. So far, nobody showed a license for these two e-tricycles. They are being used for public transport, like I mentioned earlier, so it looks like they might be towed away. I just wonder why he paid for the extra lights on the front. But then you can see their helmet there is a bicycle helmet. You see one of the e-trikes going up now. As much as possible, I'm trying to keep the kids off the camera, but there's so many running around here. One of them actually keeps purposely standing in front of the camera, so I'll probably throw away most of that footage because it just takes a long time to blur faces, especially if they're moving. And they're about to load this second e-trike onto the tow truck. Aside from all the garbage that's left behind on the sidewalk and road, it's looking pretty clear now. For now. It's meant to be maintained by the barangay, by the city, but maybe by the morning, no more. Of course, it's not only motorcycles and tricycles. Further ahead, you can see the towing crew picking up this car parked on the sidewalk. The clearing team have picked up more stuff. What you often find is that even if people see the team, even if they know there's an ongoing clearing, they will not clear the sidewalk until the sidewalk clearing team reach them. because they want to see, are they really going to do anything, or can we just ignore them? And then when their stuff gets confiscated, they say it's unfair. Anyway, there goes that red car you saw a few moments ago. Well, there's the parking attendant that's been seen in so many videos making a quick U-turn. I see the parking attendant lost his arm cast though. There were people in the comment section that said he's been wearing that arm cast for years and it's not real. This vehicle was not ticketed for illegal parking because they paid the parking attendant, even though it's a sidewalk. That's the thing in Manila City. What I don't understand is they said that parking attendants shouldn't be going around collecting parking fees. MTPB said that. But he's still driving around every day collecting parking fees, so I don't know who to believe anymore. Although this vehicle has a lot of tickets in the windscreen, it's not possible to read them. There's no way to know if one of them is from today. So it is going to be towed away to clear the sidewalk, to clear the road. It wouldn't surprise me if he already paid the parking attendant. It really wouldn't surprise me. Because many of these vehicles already show tickets saying that they did pay today to the parking attendant, and they're parked on both sides of the road. You might remember in a previous video, we saw a gentleman who paid over 100,000 pesos to get a mower with the city for a certain road. And then he turned the whole road into paid parking, collecting money from each business that wants space in front of their shop, from any residents that want to park there. So it really became a business. I'm not sure if it's still like that or not. The owner of this vehicle was actually complaining that she was ticketed by MMDA. It looks like it hasn't moved for a while. The tires on the front are completely slick. She had a ticket from the parking attendant, but it's dated from 2 days ago. And over here you see a car that was picked up for illegal parking. And it looks like there's also a motorcycle on the back of the tow truck. They're flagging that, not flagging, they're chasing, refused to stop. 3 people. He didn't stop for enforcers, so they chased him with the big bike. So that's excess passenger, substandard helmet, no helmet, driving in slippers. The plate is broken already. Of course, that's another way to beat non-contact. Just break off half your license plate. This one here, parked on the sidewalk, apparently or allegedly didn't pay the parking attendant, so I think he's going to be ticketed and then most likely towed away because there's no driver so far. He also has one of those plate holders on the front that points a plate at the floor, so he can't easily read it. Again, some vehicles will be ticketed by the MMDA, but those who can show they paid the parking attendant, there is no violation for them. I just saw a lady on the background. She got onto a motorcycle that's parked on the sidewalk. She might go from illegal parking to riding without a helmet. And the way that she just stalled the motor, the way it jumped forward, maybe she doesn't have a license either. In fact, she just substituted for a different driver. He also doesn't have a helmet, but I guess he's gonna take it down the alley before anyone is able to issue him a ticket. Oh, he just crashed as well. Oh my goodness, is he okay? Oh my goodness. Sorry, ma'am. He's wearing slippers as well. Maybe he got jammed. This one parked on the sidewalk and then the van behind have both been ticketed for illegal parking. Apparently they haven't paid the parking attendant. I did hear some of the drivers complaining to the parking attendant because sometimes, anyway, I don't want to get involved. This tricycle was broken the last time the team were here and it's still broken now, sitting in the road. Last time someone was able to show a license and take a ticket, there was no tow truck. That's the only reason why it didn't get towed away last time, because it is considered as a stalled vehicle. It's not operating anymore. This was also here last time. The MMDA asked them to remove it, which they did, but obviously as soon as they left, they put it back in the road again. So I think this time the sidewalk clearing team will take this. I'm not exactly sure where they're going to put it, because really they have a tiny truck and then they also have to fit inside themselves. The SCOG department do have a lot of vehicles, so maybe it's time that they allocate another vehicle to this team. Every day it's a challenge. They can barely fit anything in while still having somewhere to sit. It took a little bit of work, but they got it up there. Of course, the reality is no one's going to use paid parking, legitimate paid parking, if they can just pay 50 pesos to park on the street for the whole day, the whole night. Why would you give up your private land when you can just pay 50 pesos? In fact, if you look around, you'll see that a lot of these properties used to have garages, or even still do. But when you look inside, there's no vehicle park there. It already became a living space, or it became a shop. Because why will you give up your private land when you can pay 50 pesos to use the road? The driver of this one did eventually come out, and they asked him if he could put the key in and make it easier to go on the tow truck. It seems like he didn't choose that option, but either way, it's gone on the back of the tow truck, and they told him it'll go to Tamana in Marikina City, which he wasn't too happy about because he said it's far. And yeah, it is kind of far. That's why a lot of people are scared of towing, because it's a big hassle. You waste half your day. When it comes to tickets, they just laugh. 1,000 pesos? Sure, why not? Oh, he managed to tame the monsters. These dogs were going crazy a few minutes ago.